If you're tapped into the online gaming community, you've probably heard a lot about.
For this show, we're going to start it off with Expedition 33.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Expedition 33.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This... What a game, what a game. This was...
And for good reason, too. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is developed by Sandfall and published by Kepler Interactive. This game is likely my game of the year, unless Ghost of Yotei can sweep me off my feet. The combat, story, art direction, and music for the game are haunting in the best possible way. Even after rolling the credits, I couldn't stop thinking about my journey through dark fantasy France and how fun it was. And the developers at Sandfall have had an incredible journey too, which I hope is just beginning with Expedition 33. I absolutely have to do a yap session about this game. So, I love playing RPGs for the rich stories, not necessarily for their gameplay. My now second favorite RPG is Persona 5 Royal because I was able to enjoy the story and the combat. I love the strategic aspect of finding the enemy's weakness and then taking advantage of it to baton pass your way to victory. I also loved all the animations and how fluid everything felt. Now, looking at Expedition 33, I see that the evolution of Persona 5's turn-based combat was to give the player even more control, engaging with us at each stage of combat, and not just in the attack menu. I loved being able to defend against attacks by parrying or likely dodging in my case. I also loved the risk-reward system of choosing to parry. I didn't parry often, but when I did so successfully, it felt incredible to land those explosive counters. And being able to deal a little extra damage by timing your attacks made me feel like I was playing an action game, learning the combos as I went and executing them better and better as my muscle memory improved. Another huge part of the combat is creating your build through Luminas or Pictos. I have to admit that the previews of the Lumina system did scare me. I typically don't change my armor or equipment in most games unless I am literally forced to. It's a huge gamer sin, I know, but a lot of games give you a ton of equipment to look through, only for the upgrade to be 3% extra damage? So why spend the time going through the menu? Well, in E33, your experience will be greatly affected by the Picto you choose. It's the most influential part of the game, if you ask me. You can create builds that turn your team into gods among Nevron if you really wanted to. I still don't love sorting through all the Picto, but I love how they let me personalize my expedition. The other equipables, like the weapons and skills, naturally add to your battle synergy, creating near infinite ways to approach combat. Normally, I dread having to spend so much time in menus, but E33 quickly set aside that concern for me as I unlocked new ways to play. It's no secret that E33 is a visually stunning French game. I was instantly captured by what looked like France in distress in the reveal trailer. This world is broken, disorderly, and yet it feels so inviting and rewards your curiosity for asking about those who came before. Oftentimes, a Nevron is waiting for you around the corner too, but they also add to the incredible designs that this game has to offer. All the menus have a sort of sketchy or painterly look to them, embracing the looseness of art from the Belle Epoque era. The loose painterly style also clashes with the strong geometry and bright colors of Art Deco techniques. This adds so much texture to the menus and makes them feel old-fashioned and handmade instead of clean or precise. I also love the paint streak flourishes that accent each attack, making them a little easier to read while translating the power behind every move. And we have to talk about the use of light and the cinematography of the game. Clair Obscur are not just some fancy sounding words, they are the French translation of the Italian word chiaroscuro, an art technique that uses strong contrast between light and dark. This theme is at the core of everything in the game, but we'll stick to the art direction for now. E33 looks like a movie with such gorgeous lighting, which is why it's not shocking an actual movie for E33 was greenlit. That's either the easiest or hardest directing job ever. I especially love the moments when the aspect ratio changes and the image switches to black and white to accentuate the contrast between the two. Before we continue, I do have to share my two biggest critiques. Let's go back to the world map. Although I loved exploring it, I did not love getting lost. I'm directionally challenged, so having a little mini-map or making the compass that's already in the game more useful would have been a godsend. It wasn't until I was fumbling with some of the buttons at the end of the game that I remembered that there was a compass. My second biggest critique is the parkour. I love that the devs at Sandfall love platforming. I love that they were able to add it to their game. But if you're going to add parkour to a game that's not really about platforming, be very, very careful. I was playing the game, having the time of my life exploring a parkour area, when I fell.
Now, why did we save here?
My life hung in the balance between a few rocks. I'll just jump off and respawn on solid ground like before.
Putting the controller down. Actually, hold on, let me jump. Oh.
Not this time.
Oh, no way. Hold on, I need to load.
As I respawned in my own purgatory, my heart sank. I tried it again and again and again, but I never left. I tried to load the previous save, but I spawned in my circus act, bouncing on floating rocks again. Why would they let you stand here?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
I began to accept that I was going to have to start the game over, which I didn't fully mind. The game is incredibly fun. But before I erased everything, I went to Reddit to see if anyone shared something that could help me.
There's more than just 3 saves. Scroll down. Load previous saves. Oh. Yes.
You can access more than 3 autosaves you see in the menu.
I don't know how depressed I was for 3 seconds.
I turned back the clock, got away from the cliff, and did not climb anything ever again. For about 24 hours. Please, Sandfall, fix this area. I was in despair at the thought of having to gommage my save file. I don't want to get too deep into the story out of fear of spoiling someone, but it is safe to say that I loved it. E33 throws you into the middle of the story with the paintress having already erased generations of people in Lumiere. I love that E33 allows the player to piece things together just by experiencing the game. Extra curious players will find journal entries that litter the world map to provide extra color to the world's history, instead of being necessary lore dumps. This story can be incredibly heavy, with all of our characters inheriting generational grief. The people of Lumiere live knowing that their days are literally numbered, so they have a responsibility to spend every waking hour meaningfully. So when given the chance to go on an expedition to expel this curse, each year expeditioners step forward for those that come after, but I also think it's for themselves too. An expedition may be one of the last times that they can explore the world and themselves without societal pressures. The urge to be constantly moving forward and looking to the future is also a thematic idea of the Art Deco style. The vocal performances only elevate the script and the chemistry created between party members. It's fun and interesting to listen to them chat between battles around the campfire, providing small moments of normalcy where they can just be people. Not expeditioners, not Avengers, just some mostly 30-somethings exploring the world and trying to find their place in it. The longer our cast is away from Lumiere, the more they start to adopt a Belle Epoque mindset, taking each day 1 minute at a time and enjoying quote-unquote ordinary life. Also, The fact that this is a mostly female cast and that I love all the ladies' flaws and all is actually incredible to me. As a woman, I feel like female representation in video games can be so unnecessarily complicated at times, but E33 handles all of its characters with care. Lastly, I love that I rarely knew what to expect from the story. It does such a good job of hiding the truth in plain sight, so once you get to a big story beat, everything just clicks. Expedition fans, if y'all don't already know the story behind the soundtrack, please do yourself a favor and watch some of the composer Laurent Testard's interviews. It's just as awe-inspiring as his work. Speaking of his work, I love the gentleness of the piece Lumiere. The strings add levity to each beat, making me imagine children skipping around the festival. In contrast, the singer carries the tune with a tinge of sadness, I think, in anticipation of the gommage to come. Now compare this to the world map battle theme, Taking Down the Paintress. The percussion literally pushes the expedition to march forward because time stops for no one. Meanwhile, the choir lets out a battle cry as we begin a fight for our lives. But what's so masterful about this soundtrack is the motifs. So what was once dramatic can become a plucky little tune. Until you realize the tune is associated with a monster.
Gustav, help!
And those final battle themes are powerful. All of the pieces help complete the atmosphere that's been made throughout the game, but those last few are nothing short of epic. So, yeah, this game is incredible. It is a genre-bending game that has transformed the way that I look at RPGs and the talented people in the games industry. To think that games like this one might never see the light of day is crushing. I'm thankful that Guillaume Broche took a chance on himself to make this game. We need more indie talent, like his team, to be able to work on their dream titles, because this was a truly magical experience. If you haven't played Clair Obscur Expedition 33, please go play one of the best games of the year. Join the expedition and break the cycle. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. This video has been a labor of love. I had to get back into Blender after not touching it for months. So that's kind of on me, but I'm glad I was able to do that, kind of kick things off again, and talk about one of my favorite games of the year. I think it is my favorite game of the year. I am into Ghost of Yotei now. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but E33 is still creeping in the back of my mind, and knowing that we have a new dungeon coming up soon, I'm like, oh yeah, this is, it's peak. It's peak. And definitely want to shout out an indie dev studio as well for making just such an incredible game and creating a community that's like been so much fun to be a part of. Couldn't have had a better time with this game. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like so that way we can please the algorithm gods. And if you want to offer a sacrifice to the algorithm gods, be sure to leave a comment talking about, you can talk about the video, you can talk about how much you love Expedition 33, or if you're new and haven't played Expedition 33, has this convinced you to play? I hope it has, because it is one of the best games of the year, I'm telling you. And also subscribe so that we can keep growing our own little community here and keep glazing indie devs. So with that, I hope you guys have a nice evening or night, or enjoy it. I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.